here we go. Finally, we get around to it. Wednesday night, everybody. Greetings, one and all. Thought I'd show this off a little bit here. This is uh, Harrisburg Senators hat. I got this thing Saturday night when I went up to see Bryce Harper for myself, at least at the AA level. I'd seen him at Hagerstown back in April, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry it's a little late, gang. I know it's like 4 days after the fact, but this is really the first chance I've had to really sit down and talk about this. All in all, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, you come to go see Bryce Harper, and I got to see something more or less on as a sideline to it all was Eric Komatsu. This is the guy that the Nats traded Jerry Harrison to Milwaukee, and this is who they got. You know, he was playing AA there for the Brewers, so there was at Harrisburg. So he did rather nicely. He had 2 hits. One was a single, the other was a triple. You know, so he did good, fairly decent. Tyler Moore, who had been sitting at Potomac, they promoted him to Harrisburg like a month ago. And interesting little story is, I'll do this short because this doesn't involve me. This actually involves my brother. Because I went with him and his bud and 4 of his buddies' buds and all that. Took 2 cars, whole thing. Anyway, the story on Tyler Moore is simple. It involves my brother. Actually, it's not even my brother per se. It involves his girlfriend who lives in Mississippi. Somehow her family knows Tyler Moore's family because he went to Mississippi State and all that. So, you know, so at least it was fun. I got pictures. I put them, where I do baseball blogs. Got a real interesting, this is kind of like on too much information for me, but I fool around with Flickr a lot. And so I took the pictures I had taken Saturday night and, put them up on Flickr, and I got a Flickr mail from one of the people who has a group that involves the Nationals, is like pictures of the Nationals and farm teams and all of that. And he asked me for permission to take one picture that I had taken that night. He asked permission for one picture. He wanted to put it on a website of his own, which is called letteddywin.com. It's a picture, by the way, of the racing presidents. For those, those who are familiar, and if you're not familiar, they do this thing right about the top of the 4th inning, for all the Nats home games, is the racing presidents, big heads and all that. Teddy never wins a goddamn race. Anyway, that's not here or there. But the fact was that the racing presidents were up there Saturday night doing a little promotion and stuff. They were doing some dance. I couldn't even tell you what the dance was. But it was so funny, I just had to snap the picture. And so, the guy's there. The guy's named Scott Abelman, runs this site. It's called letteddywin.com. So listen, I figured this is a golden opportunity, but if he doesn't see it, thanks a lot. Thanks for asking me, and now I owe you for some reason. But that's okay. I'm sure I'll come up with something down the road. I may find a picture, really ask the guy for permission. I should do that. Anyway, what else is that? Oh, Harrisburg, they were playing Trenton, which is the Yankees farm team. And, wound up losing the game 7-4. Actually, this thing was lost in the 1st inning. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. Mets fans are so familiar with Oliver Perez and how much of a disaster this guy was playing for the amazing Mets. Right? Guess who was pitching for Harrisburg Saturday night? Oh, yeah. Could not get anybody out First 4 batters, could not get anybody out. Fourth batter in question, by the way, got a grand slam. It was 4-0. Hadn't even recorded it out, and it was 4-0. It just went downhill from there, pretty much. You know, but like I said, I saw enough of Eric Komatsu and Tyler Moore and a whole lot of others. But, you know, we came to see Bryce Harper, and, you know, it's a little bit of a disappointment that all he got out of this was a walk. I may have been 2 walks. I don't even know myself. I know it was 1 walk. But anyway, so that takes care of my little experience going to Harrisburg. It was fun, though. I have to admit it was fun, you know. I was going with my brother and a friend of his that he knows works for one of the local newspapers there in the northern Shenandoah Valley where I live. Actually, he lives in Winchester and works out of Winchester for the paper. So anyway, it was like, it was me, my brother, his friend, and his friend's 4 buddies. So we all went, you know, 2 cars. It was a lot of fun. I have to admit, it was fun. Rare sight actually having somebody else in the car and not have to listen to my brother for 4 hours. Believe me. So that kind of takes care of that trip. I'm sure somewhere down the road, I may go up here again, up here to Harrisburg. I may go to Hagerstown again now, because that's the other part of the aspect. I'll take this damn hat off. The signing deadline for the draft picks was stroke of midnight. Technically Monday night and the Tuesday morning, the stroke of midnight. And it came down to the wire, really. I think the last minute or 2 or whatever it was, but the Nats signed, I think I get this right, they signed all the draft picks. And that meant they signed Anthony Rendon. I kept saying Rendon, it's pronounced Rendon, and I apologize for that. Anyway, the guy, third baseman for Rice, all that. Signed him, signed every draft pick. I mean, really signed their top 12 draft picks. This was a long haul. I mean, this is building. At some point, they're going to see these guys come up with the system. And I've had so much fun these last couple of years doing this. I remember seeing Ian Desmond 3 years ago at Harrisburg. I saw Danny Espinosa a year ago at Harrisburg, and he was playing shortstop that night. So now, of course, I saw Strasburg saw Steven Strasburg last year pitching for Harrisburg. But his pro debut was in Altoona, and he just did not disappoint. So I saw that. At least I saw a couple. No, it was seeing at least 1 start there in Washington before the Tommy John surgery and all that. So anyway, saw all of that. I just told you about what happened Saturday night in Harrisburg and all that. So this is going to be fun now. Of course, the other aspect of that was when I went to Harrisburg last year and I saw Danny Espinosa. I also saw Michael Martinez, who now is playing for the Phillies. It's the Rule 5 draft. Now, kind of disappointing that you see that, but, you know, this is the Rule 5 draft is all about, hey, you go raid other teams. How else did we get Jesus Flores a couple of years ago from the Mets? That's how it happened. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh God. What the fuck was I gonna say? Shit. Oh well. Oh, I know what it was. Final note here. This has nothing to do with baseball. Doesn't even have to do with the Redskins. Fuck that. God. Friday night, the preseason game, they're playing in Indianapolis. No Peyton Manning, by the way. He's recovered neck surgery. But Shanahan decides, he's going to put John Beck in to start a quarterback. I said, I don't give a flying fucking hell if it's Rex Grossman or John Beck. This is a mistake. I said, at least Kellen Clemens had a few meaningful snaps a few years ago. define meaningful, but, hell, I'll settle with that. Anyway, but it's football related what I was going to talk about. Of course, now there's this whole new scandal involving the University of Miami. This guy who's doing 20 years in the federal pen on basically running a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme. Opened up Yahoo Sports, said something along the lines of he just supplied players at the U over the course of, since '92, I think is what he said. It's like everything. So he goes to like, instead of it was like 72 players that he could pretty much stand there and try to name. You figure anybody ever played at the U over the last 2 decades, and we're talking big names, I guarantee you this may be on this list. I don't know. I have not read the story. But, unfortunately, one of the names they list here is Sean Taylor. We say you can't slander a dead man. Yeah, but, if this shit, any of this is true, I was watching today, a little earlier today, and you debate the whole idea about should they institute the death penalty. It's basically shut down the football program, which they did at SMU about, 20-some years ago. Remember that story. If this is anywhere on that scale, you just have no respect for college sports, let alone football, but you'd have no respect for college sports whatsoever. This whole idea of like going to college and getting an education. You're getting an education, just not the one your parents are paying for. I don't know. Anyway, it disillusions you. That's the great one was Doc Walker, Rick Doc Walker. Remember played for the Redskins, now works radio in Washington. He was on TV earlier, locally, and talked along the lines of, said the people there at the U, in the administration must have known this shit. I said, you just stand there and bullwhip them. It didn't say pistol whip, it said bullwhip. I'm thinking to myself, you know what, I'm with you on this. I said the bullwhip might get your attention. Pistol whip, nobody gives a fuck about that. Bullwhip somebody's ass. Bonk. There you go. And I think I'll just leave all of you at that because I think I'm coming up on the hard limit here. 13 minutes. I think these things shut off in 20. Who gives a fuck anymore? All right, I'm done. Enjoy with the rest of your day. I'm going to go back here and try to watch the Nats. I'm sitting here doing this shit and not paying attention to that. So, adios, motherfuckers. I will be perusing the game, what have you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy what's left of the day. Enjoy your week. I don't know when I'm going to get around to doing another one of these videos. I never know. So, anyway. And once again, thank you, Scott Abelman, for asking permission for the picture. It's appreciated. It's great somebody actually loves my work. Even if it's not here on YouTube. All right, I'm done. We're done. Yeah, I get my mouth working one of these days. Dry mouth and everything. I need to shut the fuck up now. All right, adios, people.